Hey, Don.
Hey, Jacob.
Tell me about your first time.
What?
Was it painful? Was it awkward? How many people were involved?
What?
Your first wedding!
Oh.
Get your mind out of the gutter, you nasty pervert. Talking about weddings. And not only that, we felt best way to end the year almost is to start with our first wedding ever.
Very first
At
one.
least the one we consider the first wedding. I have some caveats.
Yeah. Basically, Jacob's cheating.
I am. But tell me about your first wedding. Go.
Okay. So, I purchased my first camera, like my first DSLR, Black Friday of 2010. And I did some practice shoots and what free things and whatever. My first paid gig was March of 2011. And that was for my friends Janet and Michael for their engagement session. And you'll get to meet them because we will be photographing their daughter's bat mitzvah in April, which is...
You're getting old.
Ludicrous. So that basically they have spanned like my entire photography career. So my first wedding was June of 2011. So not much time from, not even a whole year from when I first got my camera. Would not advise. I had a website set up. I had sample images.
Of what?
I was doing a lot.
Oh, okay.
But I was working full time with with another job, and this was just my kind of hobby, fun side job. But my roommate at the time, her friend or colleague was getting married, and she was in her 40s. Her fiance was a little older than that, and it was his first wedding, but it was her second wedding. So kind of like they weren't doing this like a traditional wedding because to them it didn't need to be. I actually found like our whole email chain of what I offered to them and what they booked and my reservation confirmation, which
Yikes.
was not a legitimate thing in any way, shape, or form. It was literally a Google Doc that said like the date and the time. But they had me booked for 2 hours. So it was basically like a little bit of pre-ceremony pictures, the ceremony, family photos, and newlyweds. That was it. Because that's all they were doing. And then they were like doing dinner somewhere. They weren't having a traditional reception. I charged $175.
That's a good deal.
And that included the digital files. And then I had a whole price sheet for prints and the album. And I do think they came back and put together an album afterwards. But yeah, so it was at a venue in Athens, Georgia. The crazy thing, I don't have easy access to their whole gallery, but the venue where the wedding was had reached out to me and requested photos for their website. And so, I confirmed with the bride it was okay, showed the whole gallery to the venue, and the venue selected images that they wanted copies of to put on their website.
I'm surprised the venue was like, nah, we good.
And those are the photos that I'm going to share. So these are not just me.
They're still on the website?
I hope not. It was 15 years ago. But these are ones that someone else requested be on their website.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm seeing these for the first time.
For the first time. A beautiful...
The background's exposed nice.
Very poor white balance.
It's very green.
Image of their... I don't even know what this space was in the venue, but...
Compositionally, it looks nice.
It is, right? Yeah. I had a good eye using the rule of thirds like we talked about last episode. Just, the white balance is not... If the white balance was correct, it wouldn't be terrible.
I think you should go back to saving dawn photography.
Yes.
With that little sunrise.
I actually ended up having someone make me a logo when I was still using that name. That was way cuter. It was like a little blue camera with a sun inside the lens. That was better, but...
Cool.
Bride and groom.
Okay.
Sitting on the rocking chairs on the porch.
Nice. Didn't notice his tie.
Remember with the parking sign?
Now, to be fair, you couldn't avoid it if that's what they wanted, but
Right.
New Dawn would have at least taken it out.
Oh, New Dawn would have spun the chairs around so the building was in the background and not the parking lot.
Well, I see a building in the background.
But that wasn't the venue. That was the building next door.
Oh, somebody's house.
But they had the nice chandelier.
Sure.
Another photo of the bride and groom. Bride is on the stairs.
First staircase photo?
Yes, legitimately my first staircase photo. Bride is on the staircase. Groom is down on one knee as though he's proposing. Bride and groom on a bench outside the venue.
Look like they're sitting on the ground.
It does look like they're sitting on the ground, but it's actually a stone bench. Some specular light.
A little bit.
White balance isn't great,
It's fine.
but it's fine.
Is it in focus?
It's not. Well, these are the days of, things that get sent online get crunched to hell. So, but yes, I don't think I would have shared something that wasn't in focus. Okay, now this is the bride and groom with a full view of the parking lot now. But this is as they were walking down the aisle.
Which one's your car?
I actually can't see it.
Yeah,
So cheers for me.
If the parking lot wasn't there and it was lit a little bit better or edited a little better, it's actually a cute shot.
Yeah, you've got some nice foreground elements. It's just unfortunate. That was what the end of the aisle was.
So that's what it is.
So that's what it is. I could have, been shooting from straight down the aisle.
Still a parking lot, though.
Right, but it's still a parking lot. And then you...
Oh! Hey-o!
I pulled these up this morning and I was literally like snorting and crying at how awful. In theory, great, right?
Again,
you get the officiant, the bride and groom.
Whole party.
But see, this is how I get remember. So there's the parking lot. Like it legit was the.
But I've shot at venues even now with that kind of stuff. So I'm not complaining about that.
and it's not even if it was slightly better exposed, just the shadows lifted. Like you get the bride and groom and officiant, and you get their whole.
Again, compositionally, you have all the building blocks there.
Right. Where I went wrong was the
Saving Dawn
minus 75 lightning vignette that I chose to.
I can barely tell. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Why did I do this?
It's cool that this was shot in 1996.
I know, what possessed me? I have no idea. And the crazy thing is,
when does the selective color show
when
up?
I emailed, well, no, the selective color was in the
album.
It was in my Jana and Michael's engagement session. The very first page shoot I did, they had selective color because she was wearing pink high heels. Anyways, so yeah, the giant white vignette. Ooh.
It's like you fell asleep when doing it, and it just yeah.
And it's in a dream. Again, we run into this all the time, right? Where half of the space is in shade, half of it is in sun. If I had exposed for the sunny side, it would be rather than a shady side.
I'm sure they'd be dark, better. But then you could easily bring the other side back up.
Right.
Again, compositionally, it's a good photo. Part of the entire day. I would take this photo right now.
Right. I still take this photo. Either when they say, turn and face your guest, and I now pronounce, Mr. and Mrs., whatever. This is still a shot that I take every wedding. Could have used some work on the exposure to make sure,
I feel like this is on P for program here. Are you in manual?
No, I was in manual.
I don't feel like...
I would have, if
I don't think the camera would have...
I was on aperture priority.
Okay.
But...
then did you choose the dark side?
I don't...
Because I feel like if you had chosen the...
That's why I think I was in manual.
If you pointed it this way, the camera would have been like, nah.
But that's why I'm pretty sure I was in manual. And then also, this...
We got some flash.
Yeah, flash from, a little view of the appetizers, perhaps. That the venue on with their nice floral bouquet. And that was it. Those were the photos. Now, keep in mind, those were the photos that the venue requested. So, yeah. My first wedding. And crazy thing is I actually had my second wedding that same weekend.
And that's when you changed your name, your phone number.
No. My second wedding was that same weekend, and it was a friend of this bride, and it was another, I think it was her third marriage, his second, or both of their seconds. Something where like
So the third one's free. Your punch card.
Well, a similar idea to how much you like vow renewals. Like they were just so chill, laid back. But that one was at a lake house. And we were fighting weather the whole time. We wanted to keep it outside, but it was threatening to rain. So it was a lot of back and forth. But similar thing where it was just ceremony and family photos and newlyweds and no reception coverage.
Were you nervous?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, doesn't it look like I was nervous?
Well, you're always nervous, so you're always sweaty and twitchy.
My default.
When you got back, were you like nailed it or were you like crap?
So
be honest.
So to be honest, I don't remember. However, I went back through like all of my emails with this bride because I still have most of them. And before I delivered the gallery, I sent her an email. I didn't know what I was doing, right? So I didn't have a contract. I didn't have a model release, any of that kind of stuff. So
we shouldn't be looking at these.
I sent her an email and I said, oh my gosh, you're going to be so excited to see your photos. They turned out so great. And then I asked like a few questions. 1, can I share your images on social media? 2, can I use your photos on my website? 3, I don't know, whatever the other question was. Oh, do you want a password protected gallery or a public gallery on my website? So I was really proud of myself.
It's cool that you got the lying part of photography. Like right off the bat. That's one of the hardest parts to master in photography is lying.
Psych up the client. Yeah. But this one though.
Ooh.
I mean, it really.
With it all said and done, one for $175. And you still got compositionally good photos. Like if you gave us those photos right now, we could make them look amazing.
Yes.
There are not things that no, you gave us the original.
Yeah.
You
could still work with that.
Yeah.
None of them are atrocious.
Exactly. There's little things that I would have done and
like if I shot the picture of the two of them sitting in the rocking chairs, like if I had been up shooting down on them, it would have looked nicer. I do remember them wanting the rocking chairs.
Sure. I may have pushed his rocking chair back a little bit so he's not so far forward. Fixed his tie.
Yep.
Unbuttoned a jacket or something. But those are little things.
And I will say, so I took photography in high school, and a lot of that was really like art focused. Like, yes, we learned how to develop film, but like there was a lot of studying artwork to learn composition. And to learn lighting through like other mediums of art. And we did a lot of like drawing and painting in that class too to like supplement it. I don't know. It was an interesting, I don't know. I just remember doing a lot of other types of art along with it. So it's not like this was my first time ever thinking about photography. But I also grew up like my whole life scrapbooking. Which I think also, but I do think there's something to that because you're learning like how to do layouts and like, I couldn't tell you why those compositions were decent, but I know that they looked good to me because I spent, most of my childhood like arranging layouts and books and what looked good and what didn't.
Fair.
So yeah, it is what it is. They were happy. They, I did my best. I think they paid a fair price for what they received at the time.
Were they happy with them when you delivered them?
I think so because she had recommended people afterwards and I think had asked me about doing family pictures another time. And I did have an email from her in like 6 months after the wedding asking for all of the album information again. So, if it was really bad, they wouldn't make an album out of it.
They were happy with the price. They were happy with the photos. Then you did nothing wrong.
And I did have some of them on my website.
I think you still should.
For some point of time.
I think you should put this one up. I think you should be a baller and post that right now.
But honestly, like you said, if you had the raw file of this...
Yeah, easily.
I would totally deliver it.
How else would you see your logo if you didn't do the live?
The sad thing is that might have been part of it.
You're like, well, I can't see my logo. What does this slider do? Got it!
So, yep. That's my first wedding.
I like it.
June 4th of 2011.
Well, my story is, why didn't you tell me I have this blood string on me? A little different, and I'm going to asterisk with, I have a first wedding, and it was a family member wedding, and it was probably 2012 in there. And if I can find the photos, we'll put them in there now. If not, but it was on the beach, selective color. I don't know if I have the photos, and I didn't know what I was doing. But from then, when I started at Disney in 2011, though, I went straight to conventions and studio because that's what especially the studio work, that's what I did in college. Like, that's what I came with my portfolio was studio. So they put me in the floral, doing all that stuff in the studio, headshots, things
all
like
the
that.
marketing type
I'd
stuff.
never shot a wedding until, I did the one for my family. I'd never shot a wedding until basically Disney was like, hey, we need you to second shoot. So I second shot from about, 2013, 2014 to about 2016. So this is where the asterisk comes in. I also did become the lead of one Disney wedding. It was a 4-hour wedding with no ceremony. It was just family photos and a reception. And I don't know, I do not have these photos, but the groom was legit on cocaine.
Oh my gosh.
And he held his backpack, like he would not let go of his backpack.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't notice at the time, but he was so sweaty and twitchy. And we were at the Grand Floridian, and we were like, where's your dad? And he was like, oh, I told him to go to the pavilion. And I was like, okay, well, someone's over there. We'll have him send back. The groom picks up his backpack like this and runs full speed to the wedding pavilion to go get his dad. I was like, what? Yeah. And then during the reception, which was at the Living Seas Pavilion, he constantly kept going to the bathroom with his backpack, holding it like it was a Jansport, but holding it like a baby in the front.
Oh my gosh.
And then later on, when you're editing, we looked and there was just white residue all up in the noses. So that doesn't count, but that technically is, I guess, a first wedding as well.
So like we said, Jacob had several years of weddings before the first one he's claiming.
So my first wedding was January 17th, 2016. I'm pretty clear on that date, or at least I know it's January of 2016. And it was a Disney wedding, and we had just come back in November from imaging. And imaging, I don't know if you were, I think you were at the, but Stephanie, I know like Amanda, Jake, Mike, Rick, they were all there. And there was this new company there, brand new company called Magnet Mod. And they were selling some gear that I thought was pretty cool because at the time we were still using sometimes Q flashes, which was just bare bulbed. So then here's this company that's like, dude, put this on speed lights. You can have gels, grids, game changer. And we still use it to this day.
Literally just used it last night.
So this is 10 years ago at this point. So I bought a crap ton of it. And they found out we were at Disney and they were trying to like talk with us and whole big thing. So literally my first wedding ever, I had all this new gear and I was very excited to use it. Did I overuse it? I don't think so. But could I have? Maybe. So the couple was Brittany and Walt. And I don't think to this day they know that it was my first wedding.
Really?
Yeah. We're still friends. If they listen to this, surprise. But their photos, and I have them here. It was me, and I remember Dean was my second. Back, when I was thought he was good. I'm just kidding, Dean. Love you.
Shout out Dean.
But yeah, so like I would say my photos are for a first time. I don't know if that's mine, but like I don't know what that is. I think that's a cell phone photo, but like that's mine. You can tell I'm starting to use a lot of flash stuff I've never really done before, and I'm playing with it. And then I got real excited because when we went out to like here,
Oh, so pretty.
yeah, right. And it didn't hurt that she's also a makeup artist and an NFL cheerleader.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's gorgeous.
Yeah. So of course, I was in just the easy zone, and here's Walt, the good guy. But you can tell, look, all of a sudden,
Look at that little rim light.
I'm starting to go a little bit
fancy.
Starting to go a little funkier than stuff I've never done before, right? Things like we just wouldn't do this in the.
I still don't do that.
I know.
I just bounce it off the wall.
Oh, I do now too. But like at the time, I got grids, I got things. The old staircase. Maybe I could have opened up a little bit. I was maybe trying to go too dramatic. Because now, again, all of a sudden, I can control light so much better with all this MagMod stuff. So I was definitely trying new things. But overall, for a very first wedding, I think it looks pretty good, right?
Yep.
First looks with Dad. I have other ones too, but these are the ones you posted. Like, again, you can see I was getting silly with some hair light. Great first look. One of my all-time favorite first looks.
I've had some good first looks lately.
So they did a Magic Kingdom session the next day or 2 days, and I delivered a couple of their photos to them, and one of those was that first look, and I was like, this is what it's all about right there. Again, but this is, things that we weren't able to do as accurately before. We would just blast them with light, and here I am controlling it. Still probably a little, I could learn to move my flash over so it's not so harsh, but,
I normally have the light from the other side so that
yeah, exactly.
the shadow isn't hitting the arch at all.
This is my first wedding. Now we're doing some backlights. I have some more. I did some window silhouettes now with some gels, which I'll post.
Hey, look, it's a car photo. See? We've been doing pictures just like in 1947.
And then, of course, then we took the Magic Kingdom, and I was like, and I'll have more. But, I mean, first off, just gorgeous
I forgot
day.
the bench was there. I was like, is she laying on the ground?
Remember the old bench
that
used to be there? And, of course, like a perfectly cloudy day when we actually shot during the daytime.
Man, the days, the good old days.
So I was very confident. Well, I wasn't confident going in. I was nervous as hell. But afterwards, thanks to Magmod, shout out, give us a hint, I was in the zone, and I truly felt that I had delivered. When I got back, because of course when you're shooting, I'm like, I hope I get something. Even though you think you do.
Right.
But when I got back, I was like, I think I nailed it. And not to be cocky, but I was like, I think I'm good at this. Like, that's what I said to myself. I was like, I'm kind of good at this. And not necessarily the photography. It was the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was the first couple I'd ever, done a bride call with. Went through with it. Like, we became really good friends. We're still friends to this day. I've seen them. They've come to the parks since then. And I've seen them. I've seen their kid,
Yeah.
So my wedding experience was a little bit different than yours. And that would actually, though, this wedding made me go, this might be something I want to continue doing. I like this more than just sitting in the studio shooting the same floral product over and over and over again on a white background. Can I just sit in the dark and shoot the same thing over and again?
Right.
As an old man, I'd be like, that sounds great. So, oh man, look at the old pavilion though.
Oh, yeah.
With the old carpet.
Oh, that
the drapes.
carpet. When did they get rid of the drapes? Because I don't know if 2016 I had been shooting weddings, so I had to have seen it.
They got rid of those when they changed the carpet. They've done 2 wedding pavilion refurbs since I've been there in 2011.
So
from
this
2011,
when they had the heart, the pews with the hearts at the end?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah. That's what it was. I mean, look at the grand, look at the Whitehall room. The Whitehall room just got redone, so it looks, the whole Grand Floridian got redone.
Yeah, everything looks stunning.
They actually did a really good job. Usually I've been kind of critical lately, but I think the Grand Floridian looks phenomenal right now.
Have you seen the new bar?
Yeah.
In the lobby?
I shot at
all
it
the
already.
stained glass. Looks so cool.
I didn't shoot at it. I was a second for a wedding that shot at it. But here, cake, you can tell I'm really trying to. So it's probably a little hot. I probably should have lit nowadays. If I'm going to be this fancy, I would have had a second light that would have lit the foreground too. But maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. But I was having just a ball. I just remember having so much fun on this wedding. The couple was great. The family was great. We just had the perfect day, and I had all these new toys that I was gonna do that.
That's so cool.
If that one is mine, apologies.
I don't think it could have been.
I don't think it could have been. If I had all this stuff to
if you were doing all of that, you would not have delivered it that way.
Yeah.
You would have at least fixed it in post. I love that they don't have the curtains up anymore.
So much
at the
better.
Grand. It's so much better, yeah.
And at first I was like, oh, they're probably just going to put new ones up, but they have since covered, because they still had the hooks. They have since taken out the hooks and patched over them. So I think it's no curtains. And I am pro no curtains.
Yeah, me too. So weddings, one of
1,000, close to
1,200. I don't even know.
I stopped counting when I hit 1,000.
I was at like 700 or 800 in 2018. So.
And remember, that was 2016. That was my first wedding. So I can tell you how quickly we were shooting sometimes upwards of 100 weddings. I was shooting 100 weddings a year at Disney and then shooting another 20 to sometimes 30, 40 on the outside as well, including myself, freelance, other people's weddings.
Yeah, I was definitely shooting. I know I had years at Disney. I was over 100 per year. And
second shooting counts too, I feel like. So like I said, this was what I consider I was the lead on this. So I was in control. Everything was on my shoulders. Opposed from the cocaine one and the family one that I shot.
Well, yeah. And the one that I shared was I was by myself. Ryan might have come with me as like an assistant, but it was just me. I was running the whole show. So
if I have the family photos, which I may still have, I'll send them and we'll put them in there, but I can't guarantee anything.
I know I have the full gallery backed up on a drive. I just didn't go digging for it, but I found in my email the ones that the venue requested.
I'm pretty sure that's Dean, because I know this one's mine. So that makes sense.
So he probably would have been doing it. Yeah. Well, you were right.
Much different experiences on our first time.
Yes.
When I was like, nothing can stop me now.
I shot those 2 weddings in 2011. I shot one other wedding in 2013, and that was a full wedding. It was like my friend's sister's best friend. And we looked at a couple of those pictures the other day. They're decent. Fine. They're fine. It wasn't that one was like challenging lighting because it was midday and it was on a barn farm property with a lot of trees and specular light and not a lot of full shade and but it was fine. It was.
No, I don't have them, but I wish we could find some of my second shooting photos. I'm sure. But obviously they were good enough to people to keep, Stephanie wanting to keep hiring me. So I had something there.
Yeah. I remember my first Disney wedding. I'm pretty sure I was second shooting with Amy at France, at Epcot. But I don't really remember any details other than that.
My first Disney wedding, I was a third, because that's how they used to do it, with Amy and Cricket. So I wasn't even a part of the wedding, but yet I was.
Well, and I had that one where I was third with you and Stephanie.
I don't remember that.
But that was at the boardwalk, but I think it was for a specific reason. I think I did the one with Amy before that.
Who was the lead with Stephanie? Was Stephanie the lead?
Yeah. So I was like shadowing you.
Oof.
Jacob's taught me mostly of everything I've ever learned in photography.
So I have shot a lot more before this one. It's just this was in my head as my very first one, and I think I nailed it. And I think the photos still stand.
I think they're still pretty close to what you do now.
Yeah.
Like, really close to your same style.
They might just be more refined now and a little more deliberate, and but I'm sure I did that photo 2 weekends last weekend.
What are they in front of? Oh, they're on the edge of the bed.
Yeah, because it's a tight room.
The rooms are always so tiny. Cool.
Yeah. Cool. So, what did we shoot this week? Not our first wedding, probably our 1 millionth wedding.
Yeah, so there's a bat mitzvah that I did the temple photos last week, and then the party was this week, just an afternoon kids party. Super cute. Everything was like pink and white, and it was almost all girls but one boy. Like one of her boy classmates came, maybe 2. So anytime they got him on the dance floor, I was like, snap, try to capture it. And then I had a Disney wedding.
Heyo.
That was the grand special.
We do like a grand special.
Yep.
What's a grand special?
So you have your getting ready at the grand, then your ceremony at the wedding pavilion, and
family photos at the grand.
Well, yes, getting ready, pre-ceremony photos at the grand, then ceremony at wedding pavilion, and then back to the Grand Floridian Convention Center.
So us wedding photographers call it a grand special.
Yes. It's probably the most common combination for Disney weddings. And then I had, so not my first overnight wedding, because my first overnight wedding was our celebrity wedding that we did at Magic Kingdom. And I've had plenty of like absurdly early weddings, but I do much better in the morning. So I'd rather get up really early than like stay up overnight because I can't sleep during the day. So I normally say no to all of them. I don't know why I decided to say yes to this one.
Say yes to the dress.
But it was an overnight wedding at Animal Kingdom at the Tree of Life. 10 p.m. ceremony. Reception at Festival of the Lion King. Dean was lead, so I was going to be second. Again, don't know why I chose that one to say yes, especially in November when it's like such a busy month already.
You were just feeling so generous.
I guess. I will never do it again, though. Unless it's with you for something special. But I'm never doing it again. Because I shot... So we started at 5:30. Came in at 5:30. Started getting ready photos at 6:30. Family photos, first look, all that kind of stuff. And then, like I said, ceremony was at 10 at the Tree of Life. We didn't finish until 3:30 in the morning. That was our out time. And we stopped shooting at 2:30, but you have to go back to the office, download, whatever. But then when you're at Animal Kingdom, you're really far from the office. So I legit did not finish until 3:30. Got home at 4, and then woke up at 7, and I could not sleep anymore. Like, my body was just like, hey, it's time to be awake. So I promptly got sick 2 days later.
No, I had a real overnight wedding, legitimately, where... do you remember when people want to get married on Halloween, they like to get married at Tower of Terror. So what they'll do is you can get married at midnight on October 30th, but really it's the morning of the 31st. So you still have a Halloween wedding, and then they'll do Halloween weddings at night too. Sometimes they'll do 2 at night. Like they'll do a 9 o'clock one, and then they'll try and do like an 11 o'clock one because it's just a very popular location. So I did the night of October 30th, coming around 8, go to her room, getting ready, get to studios for a midnight ceremony. They're getting married right at midnight, so it's actually the 31st. And then their ceremony or their reception went till about 3, but they weren't doing like a full reception. It was very weird because then at like 10 a.m., they were doing a real reception like at the Grand Floridian. Yeah. So because I think we didn't get out until like if you went back to the office like 4 a.m. And then these days they would just let us in the old days. And then the call time was like 9 or 8. No, it was 8 a.m. again. So I was like, I'm not going home.
Yeah.
I'm staying through the whole thing. And I just edited there. So I worked from 8 a.m. till about 3 p.m. the next day. Elise was the planner. Remember the planners used to come out. So she stayed. She came. She was like, what do I do? I was like, you can come hang out with us. It was me and Michael Vu. We're just going to edit all night and then go back to the thing. That's all we did. We just edited it all night. Got the photos done. Well, not the done, but you know.
No, I don't want to ever do it ever again. My body I'm too old. Once the sun is up, my body is not going to sleep. So.
Such a nerd.
But yeah, so that was what I had this week.
I also had a Disney wedding. I had a Japanese wedding. And if you don't know about Japanese weddings, they're the best.
And when we say Japanese wedding, we mean the couple lives in Japan and they fly over here for their wedding. They typically don't have very many guests, if any. Usually
it's them two. Sometimes it's just those two. Or just parents. And it was, they had parents and siblings. Probably 7, 8 people in total, including the two of them. And... you know, they love Disney and they love characters. And so their big thing is they usually hire all the characters, sometimes multiple times. So it's pretty fun in that, you know, you don't really do a lot of you don't really do getting ready. You just do kind of like some pre-ceremony, ceremony photos, and it's very quick. And then you go right to the reception where it's just basically cake cutting with characters and then characters. So in this case, we had the first round, we had Mickey, Minnie, Chip, Dale, Donald, Daisy, Goofy, Pluto.
Oh my gosh. That's the most I've ever had, period.
Yeah.
Is 8.
And one photo, but then like multiple breakdowns, of course. I mean, the bride, saying husband, Mickey and Minnie.
I know.
Tears.
I know, it's so crazy.
Tears. And then after, and they all helped cut cake, which was ridiculous because in a good way. You know, you have the couple, and you have
comical.
Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, Goofy, Pluto, Chip, Dale. It's as wide as the convention room is, and they're all just like.
I think Japanese weddings is the one time I for sure bring my widest lens.
Oh, you have to.
Because I will have to use it.
And they will do, and they want all the cutes, like, you know, the cutest photos of like noses and kissings and hearts around them. And
then like the photographer laying on the ground and everybody hugging around over top of them. Yes.
So it's pretty fun. And then when all the characters left, though, then Mickey and Minnie came back out for a sec, just those two, but they came out in like a completely different outfit. So first it was just traditional, and then the second time they came out and they're like dress whites.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was very fancy. Just even more photos. Crying again. More tears. It was fantastic. But then I left that literally at 4:30, 5, to drive all the way to cover an event for you in Maitland.
While I was at Animal Kingdom.
Where you were at Animal Kingdom. Make that make sense. I said we literally drove past each other.
We did. We literally on I-4 crossing each other.
I should have stayed at Disney and you should have.
Honestly, if these were the old days where there wasn't overtime restrictions,
they would have just been like, that's
we
fine.
would have just switched.
So I shot this event for you at the temple. And it was easy peasy. And except for them not wanting, they had this huge list of group photos they wanted.
Yes.
And you would send it to me. The first thing I did was went up to the client and said, okay, with these photos. And she was like, you know, I was being a little, like, I was overambitious last night. It's not a big deal. We don't need to get these. And I go, okay, but as a photographer, you should know, like, you wouldn't have sent this list if you didn't mean it. So at the beginning, I couldn't really do it at the beginning because of the way people were showing up late and stuff was going on. But then at the end, when they were all mingling, they all had name tags. And so I'm starting to read names and I'm like, you know what? I was looking at the list saying, hey, you, George, and, you know, Ezekiah, why don't you come over here and take a photo? And then she was like, oh, yes, good. I'm glad you got that. And I'm like,
I know. And I tried... Like, I got that list the day before the event, and I went back and forth with them saying, like, okay, this is a list of, like, 15 different groups. What time do we have allocated? Because the event was basically, like, 30 minutes for arrival and mingling, and then the program, and then open mingling. But, like, a lot of times at open mingling, people start leaving.
Yeah.
And then if you have a 30-minute window for arrival, and people aren't all there. And so they were like, oh, well, everyone's wearing name tags. He can just find them himself. And I was like... We cannot guarantee that we're going to get all these groups together because if he's walking around finding individual people by name tag, but they're not all there, now you've gathered 4 people, but you need 6, the other 2 aren't there, wasted all that time. Okay, got to find the next group. It's like, if you want these pictures, I need you or someone assigned to gather the people for him. Someone who knows who they are and could look around the room and see faces and know who it is. And then, so then they did assign someone, and then that's who told you, like, don't worry about it.
But then part of that, too, would have been she would have arranged it so we could have done it. So I am now forcing people to stop talking. Like, guys, can you just... So, like, they're in tight spaces. They're in between tables, but I couldn't take them away and start, like, a whole studio. So, but they seem to...
Yeah, everything seemed fine.
Yeah. But as a photographer, don't listen to your clients.
If you've ever been given a list, just get as much of the list as you can.
And then I shot the bridal portrait of the Japanese couple. And bridal portraits at Magic Kingdom with a Japanese couple, they always, 99% of the time, have a translator with them because they literally don't speak any English. And the best part is usually the Japanese couples just send you a shot list, which is easier. Normally you'd be like, really? Come on. But with a Japanese couple who you can't translate very well, it's very easy to just do exactly what they want and recreate it. And I much prefer it with that couple. Because they know exactly what they want.
Right.
So I just followed the list.
I think I've told this story before, but I remember my first bridal for a Japanese couple. Mike was shooting, and we didn't have a translator. And so... Yeah,
it's real hard.
When we got there, he's like, oh, do you know any Japanese? And I was like, no, do you? And he's like, yeah, just a little. And then he proceeded to do the entire session in Japanese. And I was like, I thought he was just teasing me.
Even before my time, they used to shoot Japanese weddings like 2 or 3 times a day.
Yes. Yeah. And so he did. He picked up the look at me, look at each other, kiss, arms around each other. Like, just those few phrases that...
I know Tokyo Disney Sea and Tokyo Disneyland.
Hello, goodbye, thank you.
I made the mistake of the dad had this really cool photo of Tokyo Disneyland Space Mountain. Mm-hmm. And he had like handed it to me because it was in the photo. And I was like, yeah, I'll take it. And then I was like, oh, Space Mountain. And he was like, yeah. And then I don't know why, but I was like, Tokyo Disneyland is in the process of demolishing. They're building a new Space Mountain behind the old one, demolishing it. And I was like, oh, the new Space Mountain is so cool. And of course he's like, I'm like, why would I? Jacob, like, you had it at Space Mountain.
Yeah, you made a connection.
End it. Oh, but the new Space Mountain, right? What? No, I don't.
Oh, man.
So that was my week.
Cool. Well, since it's Christmas week.
It is Christmas. It is Christmas.
It is Christmas.
Oh, God, I got to do some shopping.
So, what is on your photography list for Santa? What do you hope you'll get this year?
A new career.
More subscribers on YouTube.
That's true. I need a new, because I switched to a harness system this year, and I bought a very cheap Amazon harness to start because I'm not ready to spend $9,000 on it. But it has helped my back. My hips don't hurt. But I also carry a side bag that connects to it. Almost like a tactical bag. It's a little too big, and it's actually falling apart now because, the weight of it. So, and it kind of hurts after a while, and I keep one lens in there. So I'm thinking about getting Holdfast has what's called a quiver bag that can connect to the two back straps, and then it just kind of sits over your tailbone, and it's an easy reach in. And so that would be on my list, for sure. I
have a similar thing. This year I switched to the spider holster.
It pulls my pants down. As someone that doesn't have I have zero butt. I have tried. Doesn't work. You got to have some badonkadonk for it to work.
It's so comical watching. No, I have plenty of hips and butt to keep mine up, so that's not a problem. But I have the one where it's just one camera harness, or like one slot to slip your camera into. Yeah. And then I have a larger lens pouch that is meant for a 70 to 200. And then I have another little like accessory pouch that I didn't get from Spider Holster. It's just like a tactical, it slides onto the belt. And it's good for, like, my cell phone, my chapstick, my earplugs, like, little stuff. But when I am shooting wedding ceremonies, I want my backup body on me.
Yeah.
And so I either want another pouch that I could just slip the other body into, or I'm pretty sure they make, like, a clip-on attachment that also you can slide another, like, camera on. Something so that I can have basically 2 cameras, 2 lenses on me.
Because we don't really shoot 2 bodies.
No, I don't.
And we've never really felt the need because we're so efficient.
Right, and I know exactly when I want a wide lens and when I don't. And I can look at for a wedding ceremony is really the only time I want this for.
Really? I agree.
Literally the only time I need it. Maybe for like intros and first dance, depending on the space, like how... Because sometimes you stand where you think is a good spot, you're backed up against the wall, and then the couple comes like right up on you, and you've been on a long lens for intros, and now you're like way too tight. But, for a wedding ceremony, I can tell how short the aisle is if I can use the 70 to 200, or if it's going to be too cramped for me to get like the handoff up at the front that I need a wider lens. Like, I know when I'm using which lens and where, so I don't need 2 bodies. But... heaven forbid something happen.
Heaven forbid.
I don't want to have to then run to wherever my bag is stashed to get my second body. So what I've been doing is I just have my second body on a strap, walking around with that. But then that's, I'm going back to having something on my neck, which is what I didn't want.
2. My back doesn't hurt anymore, I'll tell you that.
I mean, mine doesn't either with the spider holster. It's great. And I haven't yet experienced, I know some people said they've had hip problems from the spider holster because it's uneven, but I don't know. Maybe my hips are big enough. It doesn't matter.
What's something I'm going to have to figure out, because I do have my So I have the double harness, but I actually have only one side with the camera on my right side. The harness actually clips into my side bag, so it actually balances it out. If I do switch to this back, I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna probably have to carry two bodies and just like a dummy, like a dummy body. Like that doesn't actually work. Put
no batteries, no memory cards.
I'll put my macro on there, so it's fine. It's also time for me to probably get a new on-camera flash. Mm-hmm. You know, I've said this before, I've replaced the head. It constantly comes loose, so I have to go in and re-screw it like once a week now. Mm-hmm. And then my scroll wheel, that like when you change it, it actually doesn't, like, you have to constantly do it or it'll just go wild. I'll go from 64 to 200, power all over the place. So it's probably time. Mm-hmm. But then I don't like, this is old man Jacob talking, I don't like the touchscreen ones.
I was going to say, if you're getting a new Kodak speed light, just try to find an old model, because I got the V480 and I got it because it was little, and I think we just talked about this last episode or the episode before. Like, I got it because I already had to replace the hot shoe on my XH2 because the weight of the speed light was too heavy for how much I was moving around with it, whatever. So I've been much more careful. I'm not putting a mag sphere on the speed light anymore, even though like sometimes that's really what you need because it's so much better. But anyways, so I thought, well, maybe if I have this littler one and I use the newer mag mods that are lighter, maybe, it would work out. But I used it the other day, and the touchscreen is obnoxious.
It's so obnoxious.
It's just not.
It's not even.
quick.
It's not even. Yeah, I was gonna say it's not the touchscreen like we're saying like we're old. You know? It's just that it's not fast enough. We are very quick photographers. We have muscle memory. We can click stuff off. It is not as quick as it needs to be to turn something off, like to turn a light off.
Yeah,
you have to hold it down, and it takes a second. That's a second loss that like shouldn't take that long. But and
even just to like keep it quick in terms of changing the power of each of the lights on your, you've got your on-camera light and then your off-camera lights. I felt like I would tap it, and then if you're already tapping it to select it, I'm going to try to use the slider bar to change the power, but there's like no precision in that. No. It just would like So then if I use the wheel to select it, and then you got to click on it and then wheel to change it, it just felt slower. I don't know. But for anyone who's considering that one, there were times on the event that it didn't recycle fast enough. Even though all the reviews I saw said like it wasn't any different than like the V1 or the 865, like unless you're on full power. Functionally, in a real life job, it was not keeping up.
You ended up taking it off.
I did. I ended up taking it off in the middle of an important part of the night because I didn't want to risk missing shots in the next part of the night. But
and then you did miss the shot.
I did.
But luckily,
Jacob got it.
This guy got it. Am I gonna get sick?
No.
Nasty ass motherfucker. Should have done this over Zoom.
I'm gonna. It's just that fun cough that you get for like 4 weeks after you've been sick.
It's called pneumonia.
But anyways, it didn't recycle fast enough, so that was not a solution. So don't get that one. I mean, I'll use it on, I'm thinking like nonprofit corporate events where it's just grip and grin, like, and you don't need to be fast.
Yeah.
Because it did work fine for a good chunk leading up to that. But once we were in like party mode, it was a mitzvah. It wasn't keeping up.
I also think it's probably start time to at least having the conversation to get new 8200s because they're just, I mean, I've used those things so hard. My C, what I call C, the secondary light, the battery doesn't actually stay in. It'll just pop right back out. So I have to put it in and like do a very special like press that only I know how to do that keeps it in. And sometimes if I'm walking with it, it's like a cartoon. It'll go doing, like it'll make the spring noise of like doing, and the battery will just go.
I was having a similar problem with one of my 8200s. The power switch was not engaging properly, so I had it like gaff taped into the on position to try to keep it turned on, but it wasn't working. So luckily, I had cleaned out this room like a couple months ago and realized one of my 8200 cases that I had still had a brand new one in it that I must have bought like when it was on sale. So that one's in rotation.
There you go.
But I do think I need some updated modifiers. I've lost some mag gels along the way, and I don't have a full like creative set of colors. Well, no, sorry, I have one set, but I have 2 lights, so a lot of times I would need 2. Then I need a new softbox.
I used my gels so much, especially at Disney, that they've actually like the old ones. Remember the old ones? And one, they've all rubbed off, so you can't tell what the color is. And then, like, you shot through them so much that they actually have, like, the inner
like
circle is burned. Like, I think the color has been burned out of those. So last year, 2 years ago, I upgraded to the newer plastic hard ones. And those were great. But I had the full set of the older, which I still have. But I kind of want to just get all of them so they're the same.
I don't even have those yet. The only thing I have for MagMod of the, like, new versions is the newest spheres. Yeah. But all my other stuff is original. So yes, I have a set of I have one set of corrective gels that are newer that you can still read.
But they're not the hard plastic ones. But they're not the hard
plastic ones. You still put them in the gel holder.
Yeah.
And then I have an original set of the corrective and an original set of the creative. And you can't read anything on any of those. Which, it doesn't matter anyway, because when we're in the dark at Magic Kingdom, I'm trying to shuffle through our list of,
I would just pre-make them. Like, I had certain ones that never came out of the holder, which is why they got burned through, because they were used every time.
Yeah.
But, what else?
Any, like, for fun things on your list? I mean, because, like, memory cards, maybe a new hard drive.
I do need a new hard drive. I just got a new computer. So that was a big one, but that wasn't for Christmas. That was just for necessity.
It was just for life.
Yeah.
When your iMac stopped functioning.
Yeah. I would love to get one of the Fuji play cameras, an X-Half. I really like that one. It's such a stupid waste of money.
It really is, but I really want one. It's on my list too, but it'll never happen. But man.
Because there's no reason for it. Everything you could do, you could easily just do with one of your other Fuji cameras. But I want it so bad.
Do you have anything on your like regular Christmas list for Santa? Like anything fun?
I always
not photography.
I always put a board game on there just to make them feel, because they know I like board games, but I'm very particular. You can't just buy me sushi; it's just get me gift certificates. But
that's not fun.
I know people want to give me one, so I always give them one. Board games are tough because they're not big prints. So like when a board game comes out that you want, you need to buy it. It is not something that you can wait until Christmas. Now that said, there are a few bigger games that kind of break through, like your Wingspans, a Catan. You know, you could get them at almost any point. So I always give them one game that I will know will be available for Christmas, and I give them links. But what else did I put on there? Oh, I got a new Apple Watch.
Oh,
My watch is it can't even survive a day of a charge anymore. So I put a watch on there and a board game, and I think that's about it.
I think
when you're an adult and you can buy whatever you want.
Well, we've been saving for Ryan and I, asking my parents. We want a record player.
Oh.
Because we don't have one.
Record scratch.
And then we, few records too. So something, because we actually have an old record player that belonged to his grandfather. We're pretty sure it's from the 1960s, based on like the tags, the labels and stuff inside. But it's like a full cabinet with like the special material on the front, and then you lift it open and the record player sits inside it. But the record player doesn't work because it's 60 years old. So, but I think we're going to keep that cabinet and then like use it to set a record player on top of until we can figure out how to like refurbish it to get it working again. So that's our fun thing.
You know what else I put on my list? I just remembered, because obviously we still love Lego, but I don't buy hardly anything at all. It has to be very specific to my taste or something I like. But I really want to try one of those Light My Bricks. And so I offer one set that I still have as more of a test to see if like let someone else buy it for me. And if I like it, then I'll buy more. So like, it's like if I'm only going to have like 3 or 4 Lego sets, let's make them look as cool as possible.
Have you seen the new architecture sets? What they're going to look like?
The Paris ones, like the postcards?
No, not the, well...
They announced one that's
coming out in January.
Yeah, there's one that's a Paris postcard, but it's 3D. There's a Japan, like the water, isn't it Japan with the water flowing? Yeah.
Yeah. But that Paris one is so cool looking. And it just happens to be the 2 countries we visited.
Well, there you go.
So I want
I haven't been to Paris, so...
Paris and Japan. So.
Cool.
Anyways.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
I hope you get everything you want.
Yes. Hope you've been good. And Santa brings you everything.
I ain't getting shit. What are we talking about?
Our first weddings.
Yes.
You're starting.
So it's like, hey, Dawn.
Hey, Jacob.
Tell me about your first time.
What?
I start.
Yes.